Amanda of Level Up Creators and Level Up Creator School. I'm our Director of Operations, and Amanda Northcutt is our CEO. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with us. We're going to be talking more about sales to piggyback off of last week. And we're also going to be giving you an update of our MRRA cohorts because now we have more than one. If you have not met us, there are two ways that we help coaches, consultants, and thought leaders like you build rock solid recurring revenue businesses. The first is Level Up Creators, and this is our done for you white glove consulting firm, and this includes our accelerator program. And the second is Level Up Creator School, and this is where we help a global group of thought leaders, consultants, and coaches build businesses with a done with you model. Creator School includes access to our consulting team and our exclusive methodology in a way that used to be reserved just for our consulting clients. So, hello and welcome. First off, let's do updates on our cohorts. Where are we at? What's going on?
Yeah, so we are kicking off month 5 this week with cohort number 1 that began in January. And then we just kicked off last week, cohort number 2. So things are moving along in cohort 1. We're pretty far down the road, as you can imagine, and working on deal flow and having lots of conversations about sales. And we're still, in the build phase of websites. We've had some delays around that. And, it's like working through everything and doing exactly what we teach our accelerator participants and other business owners to do. And so it feels really great to know that we are going to leave this first cohort with these kind of businesses in a box, as a couple of our cohort members like to say. But it's like these businesses that work, all the systems are set up, all the technology set up, all the standard operating procedures are built, and of course the processes are done and vetted, and they make money. So that's pretty cool. And we are really, really excited about their Q3 graduation, like big time. It's going to be awesome. And then for the second cohort, we're just getting to know each other and having a blast. We had our second group coaching call yesterday morning. And I mean, this is just an incredible bunch of thought leaders and entrepreneurs, and could not be more grateful to get to work with these people, both our clients and our team every day. So we've got a really good thing going on over here. And I love how we have aligned incentives with our customers in that we are not successful unless our customers or clients are successful. So that matters a lot to me in just the way that we conduct ourselves in our business.
Yeah. Okay. For sales, you have said before that one question can completely shift a sales conversion. Why is the 6-month future pacing power question so
Mhm.
effective?
Yeah. So that question is, in case you don't get our newsletter, one, you should hop on it. But um, you want to understand what success looks like in the eyes of your prospective customer. Because if you don't understand what they need, you don't know if you can offer it or not, right? And then we're all just kind of beating around the bush, using probably icky sales tactics and being uncomfortable and saying things that don't necessarily make sense. But when you ask a prospective customer, if, say your engagement takes 3 months, you would ask, so in 6 months, if you were to look back and say that, hiring Level Up Creators was the best decision that you made for your business this year, what will have happened, right? What will have happened, or where is your business at now, or what are the changes that have been made? What are the KPI changes? Basically what's different. And so you're asking them to use their own words to describe the transformation that they want you to provide as a result of your work together. And if you've been watching our lives or following any of our content for any amount of time, we are firm believers that clarity is one of the most important things that you can have in business, maybe even the most important. And you need clarity around 5 areas: who you are, your positioning, the painful, pervasive, urgent, expensive problems that you are uniquely equipped to provide based on your experience and background. And then who are your customers? Who's your ideal customer profile, or ICP, both psychographically and demographically? And at what stage are they at when it's best for you to meet? Because that's when they're feeling the most pain. And you're like, hey, I've got the solution over here. And then your methodology, how you actually go about solving those big, painful, pervasive, urgent, expensive, we need an acronym for this, pain points. But I know I like to say it all because it's like, no, really, 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 people have to be bleeding out in order to buy something from you. It's not a vitamin, it's a painkiller. And so if you know who you are, who your customers are, what your methodology is that takes them from that pain space to solution space, and then you figure out the wrapping, if you will, how you are uh, productizing or offering and packaging up your methodology in service of providing solutions, anywhere from like a course or a challenge all the way to, one-to-one help, hands-on help or advisory help. And then the fifth thing is like how you acquire customers. And that's like what we're talking about today. So if you have clarity on the other four things, you're just matchmaking, 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 matchmaking. It's not sales. So if you know who you are, who your customers are, and hopefully you're like on Zoom with that ICP and not someone out in left field, because we don't want to be desperate in our businesses. No matter what is actually going on behind the scenes, desperation repels, and we want to be like a magnet, the strongest, magnetic pull toward us because of our positioning in our ICP.
Yeah.
So if you can get them to describe in their words what success looks like, you'll know, is this something that I can do and aligns with my positioning, my methodology, and my product ladder? Or is this way out in left field? Like, oh, I could do it and I'm really desperate for business. So I guess like maybe I will, even though that's not how I've set my business up and that's not what I actually want to do. Like that's going to come through at some point. And so you have got to go out and do the work to fill your pipeline, which is hard. There's a method to it and there's a way to do it for sure, but it is hard and it's uncomfortable. But if you know who you are and what you bring to the table, and that's what your ICP needs, which should, because that's how we're setting all these businesses up. Then again, you can tell someone at the beginning of a conversation, like, hey, this is what I do, and these are the ways that I help. And hopefully you got referred to that person or you connected to them warmly, or they engage with your content on LinkedIn and they've given some signals, that they're interested. And we could talk about like stages of awareness and marketing. We can do that another day. But you want to tell them up front, like, hey, if it's not a fit, I'm going to let you know, and hopefully be able to send you on your way and to someone that's in my network that I can refer to help you with this problem. But so just so you know, like, this is what I do, this is what I have to offer, and just want to be clear about that if I ask you questions and it's not a good fit, I'm going to be the first to speak up because that's not setting us up for success. That's not aligning our incentives. And ultimately it's going to be, a frustrating project. So if you lead with that and you are genuine in it, I'm not saying this is a tactic. I'm saying actually believe and embody that. And like, that's the vibe that you will give off. If you're a crappy person selling crappy things, like please leave our live stream and don't read any of our stuff, because we're giving advice here, assuming that you are a person who has something of value to offer and you're not trying to like pull the wool over somebody's eyes. So I want to be really, really clear about that. We are the antithesis of like icky marketing and sales. Yeah. So if you're approaching things with that vibe and you have clarity on those 5 things, that will come across, and you can just have a conversation like a human instead of trying to turn into this awkward robotic salesperson. Now, I do believe you should practice sales for sure. Like I used to practice in a mirror before I could practice on video recording myself, because I've been doing this since the very, very early 2000s. So, but that's the gist of it. I mean, that's why it's important to understand and to have your customers pair it to you. Like, here's exactly what I want. Do you have what I need or not? And then you being the good business person and being honest and forthright with them about that.
Yeah. In the accelerator, we teach our clients to offer their services or their offering in their own like clients' words. Can you tell me why that's so powerful?
Yeah. It's a practice called mirroring. So we're really big on collecting a voice of customer, which can happen through surveys, can happen through LinkedIn polls, can happen through, most ideally, 20 to 30-minute phone calls where you are learning about your prospects. So we take all that information in the beginning, synthesize it, and try and really understand like, who are your customers and how do they talk about what's wrong and what they need, so that I use this like silly analogy, but you want your marketing to be so powerful and so incisive, like surgical precision level here. Like you are talking to such a specific person. You're going narrow and deep on your niche. If you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So you're talking to this one specific persona. You want your messaging to land and feel like you reach inside their brain, pulled out their innermost thoughts and mirrored it back to them, on the screen. So, and that creates that magnetic pull that are going to bring the right people to you and repel those who are not the right fit. So it's another piece of the matchmaking puzzle. That's really it.
Yeah. So a lot of people in their sales process, they kind of jump the gun and go like straight to solutions in their sales call. Why is this maybe not the best tactic? And how can they better understand their prospects' wanted, truly, like their truly wanted outcome?
Yeah. So asking questions and showing up and being curious and again, being a human. So act like you're having coffee with a friend and maybe they're having a problem and you're trying to talk them through it and you're trying to get them to be able to open up, be vulnerable, share the problem. So what kind of energy would you bring to that conversation? What kind of questions would you bring to that table? You want to, build rapport, find some common ground. Hopefully, again, you have a common connection or something in common. You should be doing research on the people you're getting on the phone with before you get on the phone with them, to be ready and not like in a weird way or like I stalked you, but just at this point, y'all, like you got to get on the internet and Google folks before you get on the phone with them. So you show up and have some information. Otherwise, it's really bush league. So don't do that. So yeah, that's it. I mean, showing up and being curious. I've been asking open-ended questions. I mean, we have obviously very skillful questions that we teach all of our clients to ask, and in a very specific order. And we have branching logic. If they say this, you say this, kind of a thing, and preempting objections. Like there's a lot to it, but at its most basic form, if you have clarity on who you are, who they are, and what you have to offer, just cut through the noise and just be a human and ask questions. You know your domain area. You're an expert. You're a thought leader. And so you know how to ask the questions that will suss out the responses from the person on the other end of the screen or table, wherever you are, if they're a fit. And so just take it down to that human level, forget all the sales tactics and crap and noise, and just think matchmaking. I'm only here to matchmake. And it really lowers the pressure of the call as well.
Yeah. Can you walk us through what a good or successful sales call feels like?
Yeah. Everybody leaves feeling like, something was gained, even if it was just a new connection. So it should feel natural and it should not feel combative at all. It should feel relational and warm. You should create, a safe environment for a fun conversation. It should be light. And on Zoom, hopefully you're on video calls when you're doing this, you should be able, obviously you can hear intonation, you can see, are they gesticulating? Are they involved? Are they leaning in? Are they leaning out? Body language is a big piece of it. What types of words are they using, right? It should be low pressure because you're only looking for a match. Again, not looking to make a sale. We're looking to make a match. Collegial, respectful. There's no gotcha moments. There's no like, I'm going to use this slick sales phrase that I saw from this sales guru who's going to help me make 6 figures in 6 weeks. Like, like that's your red flag number one, right? Just turn the other way. So yeah, it should be very comfortable and friendly and solution oriented.
Yeah. In our accelerator program, we teach our clients to sell transformation and not time. How do frameworks like this help someone shift from undercharging for their labor into selling more confidently?
Mm. Yeah, that's a very, very complex. So to be clear, our clients, our persona, these are folks that, the last third of their career. So our clients are, 40, 45 to 60 years old, and they have a whole lot to offer, but are still sometimes stuck in that individual contributor. Therese McClough calls it the super doer mindset. And we want to help very skillfully identify the key points of leverage, the highest and best value that our thought leader clients can provide to their ICP, and decouple completely their time from their money. So we're giving like, here's my 30 years of experience that I'm injecting into this and directing your team client on what to do. But we have to think about highest leverage activities and highest and best value. And you doing individual contributor work at this stage in your career is not it.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's all that we have today. So thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow us for more tips and insights. We will be continuing this whole sales series for the next couple of weeks. So if you have any sales questions or any pain points in your sales that you really need help with, leave a comment on this post and we will cover it next week. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks.